Are you curious to know what's possible through writing? Welcome back to the Path to Purpose podcast with Dr. Katja Rusanen. In today's episode, we are exploring another inspiring journey, offering expert tips to help you live your purpose. I'm super excited to introduce our guest, Laura Di Franco, who is the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, an award-winning publisher for holistic health, wellness, and business professionals, with a mission to help the world experience what's possible. In this interview, we will explore what's possible through writing, and you'll discover the Brave Story Medicine method. So stay tuned. So welcome, Laura. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Of course, this is my favorite topic of all time.
As we are diving in, I'm curious to know, was there a special event that led you to this path?
I've been writing, journaling since I was 15 years old. And so this started a long time ago for me, but there have been many transformational moments along that journey that felt like a nudge from the universe, just shoving me a little bit more, on the path. But it started with writing in my journals, just all the angst of being a teenager and all the things of life. And I believe looking back that I was healing in those pages, that I was using it as a place of awareness.
Love that. And now you have then developed the Brave Story Medicine method that I mentioned, and I'm sure people are like, what's that? So tell us what it is.
When things moved forward along that journey, and I was realizing what was happening in the marriage of my healing methods, skills. I have a 30-year career in holistic physical therapy. So I have been a healer my whole life, right? So when I realized what I was doing with the healing methods and the writing and putting those together, this Brave Story Medicine method was born, just paying attention to what was happening. So we write it down first, step one. We get the ideas out of our head and out onto the paper, where when we're looking at them, we have created awareness. Step one would be enough for many, many people. A profound shift in awareness will create a shift in your life that you might be surprised about. So when you journal it, when you get it out of your head, literally, and onto the paper, you make a space. You get to observe. Like, there are many times I did that, and I looked at my journal and I thought to myself, whoa, do I think that? And it was a moment, right? And then step two is reading it out loud to yourself, allowing your soul to hear in your voice your own words. And it's just another step, right? And I can keep going on all the steps unless you want to pause and talk about the first two.
Yeah, well, let's, because I have my own experience as well. So maybe we can pause a little bit. I have experienced that as well, like writing down is so healing as such already, and then sharing it, reading it out for yourself first. It was like I had this experience. I went through trauma when I was 16. I put it in a storage unit for 15 years. I didn't want to talk about it. It was just too painful. And then through writing, I started healing. And it was such an empowering journey as well, because it gave me new perspective as I started to put those words on paper or on computer. So it was just allowing me to express. And I believe expression is healing. So I just love this method that you have put together and helping with so many people to share and get the medicine to heal.
Well, the perspective is it. I mean, you said it. So if your perspective shifts, you have a different awareness than the moment before. And that can be life-changing. It can be profound. I see healing in these tiny moments, these moments where we shift like that, where somebody says something to us, where we've written something down. There's so many moments in life where just the one simple thing can change everything.
Yeah.
So I always say to people, what if there's something you haven't learned that yet that could change everything? Like, what is possible here? It's exciting, right?
It is. It is. And it's scary too. So I kind of get that people might resist this, and we can talk about that a little bit later, but let's continue your steps.
So when you speak it, it's something about hearing the words, but then when you move into the next level, brave, you speak it to someone else. And then all of a sudden things get scarier because it's not just you anymore. It would be somebody else either reading it or hearing it, right? So out loud for me is either on the page or with the voice, but out loud to yourself means a very different thing than out loud to the world or out loud even to a best friend or something, right? So I always say, if you can be a little bit brave and share it that way, then you're moving along that continuum, right, of this brave story medicine method. Then it's to a little bit more to the world. What if you published? What if you wrote a blog? What if you got your words out in a bigger way where now you are open to the world's criticism, right? Like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. but that is where you start to make an impact. The medicine is both for you and other people. Yeah. And these steps will heal you at next levels as you move through them. So publishing in any form, sharing in any form, speaking on a stage, getting it verbal or written, right? And then the ultimate step for me was taking the microphone like I'm doing today with you. So not only speaking out loud or writing out loud, but actually standing in front of a microphone and hearing my voice reverberating against the walls and realizing there's an audience now. Because it's easy to hide behind your blog. That's kind of easy when you're starting. We'll put it out there and we'll just see what happens, but I don't have to hear crickets or I don't have to hear no applause or whatever it is, right, you're afraid of. But as soon as you grab a microphone, as soon as you decide to share out loud in a way that there's feedback, sometimes instantly, it just takes a little bit more courage. But listen, I did not go from journaling to microphone in a day, y'all. Like, try 3 decades. Like, so this process is, you get to control the pace of where you're at, where you want to go, how brave you want to be. But what I guess I can say from experience is everything good happened in my discomfort zone.
And just curious to follow up on that, like what helped you then? On those moments you felt that discomfort, what helped you then to say yes and do it anyway?
This is a really great question and super important part of the awareness. It was discerning that feeling in my body, that fear feeling, discerning it from survival fear to purpose-driven fear, like knowing the difference. So when you are afraid of something, it's in your body, you're having a feeling. I will point to my chest over and over again because it's like my heart, like, ooh, I can feel this feeling and it's tight and it's a little scary, but fear is just a feeling. We're making it mean a whole lot of other things, and that is the problem. So if you can begin to feel the feeling in your body, get back in your body, because you got to do it there. Feel the feeling and then understand, no, this isn't the saber-toothed tiger. This is my purpose-driven fear. Like, this is the universe saying, Laura, this is your purpose. This matters. And that's scary. So once I got back in my body and I figured out the difference between those feelings and what I was making that mean, I could use it very easily as a compass for every single decision I ever made from then on in my life. I mean, whoa, right? So, like, oh, what is this? Oh, this is purpose. This is purpose. So then it becomes a fuel. Then it's just an energy. Then we don't have to let it paralyze us. And we can literally take action in the moment we feel. We go, ooh, and you notice there, that's the magic right there, just noticing. And then what are you going to do about it? Right. So in my case, I publish my words, I share them out loud. In fact, many of the poems that I share on social or whatever, those are not edited. They're just like, you guys, I know this isn't just for me. I'm just going to put it out there and see who it helps.
I love that. And thank you for sharing, because I think that will be super helpful for many. Because, yeah, I remember it was so scary to share for the first time when I sent my book draft to the editor. I was really, really scared, and then waiting for the feedback and what does he say or think. But then there was this calling, like I love how you linked it to the purpose. There was this calling to help others through my story. And that helped me to move forward. So now let's talk about the benefits. Like as you get over and transshift the fear to this purpose-driven fear, and a book can come after, like, how does writing heal? Let's talk about that side of them that might also motivate people to get going with their writing and sharing their writing.
There's so many benefits. I mean, healing is huge, right? That's a big, big benefit. And courage is contagious. So when you're out there being brave, by the way, that changes your brain, like it will, the act of it helps you be more resilient. It's in the moment of the act of being brave, whatever that means to you guys. Your brain changes, your brain shifts, and you become more resilient. So there's a benefit, right? Some brain science for all of you. Anything you do, not just writing, not just publishing, but all the things. And I think if you really think about that science, that shift is also healing. It is changing probably an old, unhelpful behavior or habit into something brand new, that you are creating your best vision of yourself, best version and vision right then in the moment. That's exciting. Like, this is leading me down this path of wanting to talk about the law of attraction, because if you really get that the now moment is the place you have the opportunity to do this, you'll be like, ooh, I want to be brave more often, right? I'm going to share. But you and I both know it's not always that easy, right? We're very afraid of, well, what will people think of me? What if this is no good? What, this has already been written about before. What, who am I? All the, just the imposter syndrome BS. You guys, that fear of not good enough is boring, because if you're letting it paralyze you, then that means no lives will be changed, right? So there's benefits to you, of course, in this process of healing and stepping into your courage and really believing in yourself and knowing your message was meant to help other people. This is big potatoes ideas here, right? So those are some of the benefits. You can tell I get excited about this one, right? Like,
Absolutely.
this is a big deal. Yeah.
And it is, because I love helping people as well with the stories, and that they find that courage, that bravery to share, because I believe like each of us have gone through life experiences that can help others when we share the lessons we learned through those experiences. And our audience is there are many coaches and healers and spiritual entrepreneurs. So, on your opinion, why should every business owner publish what they stories, they lessons they have learned? What's your opinion on that?
Business owners want to stand out in the world as having a solution to a problem. We all need to thrive in our businesses to make the income that we need to generously take care of ourselves, everyone we love, and everyone we serve. So we should all be interested in how to get our message out in the world in a bigger way. And books are one of the powerful ways. So I feel like everyone should want to at least be curious about what this means. Like, you may not feel like a writer, but there is a version of storytelling that is a powerful business builder. So I think if you are a business owner, you should at least open up your mind and be curious about what that is. Because storytelling in all the forms, whether we're here on the podcast, verbally, on a stage, in a book, in social, it's the way you differentiate yourself from the other 99 coaches that the person could hire. It's the personal story and the power in your ability to tell it. I'll say show it, because that's a writing technique that will make me want to hire you. Because, if I line up those 100 people, and it's time for me to hire my next help, right? My next coach, my next strategist. And you're the one that gets vulnerable with me to allow me to get to know you a little bit in that beautiful story. Guess who gets hired? And I think this is the thing across the board that business owners are missing the mark on. They think it's too TMI, too much information. I can't get too personal, because then what will they think of me? It's the opposite, you guys. So everybody should establish their expertise, authority, and vulnerability in a book. Everybody should do it, right? So it is about establishing your authority. Yes, you hear that over and over from people marketing this, but it's way more than that. And you do that. And I always say around here in Brave Healer Land, we are not doing business as usual. We are helping people understand what it means to be strong. And that is that vulnerable storytelling.
Yeah. And I believe like stories really connect on the emotional level. And we as a coaches and healers, we want our clients to open up for us and share. But like, what if we go first and we share so they feel more comfortable then to coming to us and also getting the feeling, okay, she or he or they will get me. So it just gives the opportunity for us to connect on the heart-to-heart level.
You're right. We have to go first. We have to be the trailblazer of that, to model authentic leadership, and to also help pull people up into their best own leaders, right? Self-mastery is something that is a mark, I think, of a master leader.
And now, like, let's go into your own journey with writing and sharing your wisdom. So, when did you first start writing for others to read? Because you mentioned sharing on social, but was there something before that? Like,
there was. Yeah. So, as a physical therapist, I opened up my own practice pretty early in my career. It was about, I would say, 2008. And I was a private practice owner building my own first business out there in the world doing that, right? And so thinking about writing a book is one thing, and it's a whole separate story, but I blogged to help my clients. So when I started my blogging journey, I loved writing. I had been journaling since I was a teenager, right? I told you that. And I finally had a vehicle that I could educate both clients and prospective clients. And I thought, all right, I'm going to start talking about mind, body, soul, holistic kind of healing topics and put it out there in a bigger way. So I did blogging on my own blog sites. And then I also did guest blogging on bigger blog sites like Mind Body Green, The Elephant Journal, Tiny Buddha, to name a few, right? Where I knew my holistic people were hanging out and would probably want to hear about these topics. And so that was the start of writing for other people for me. It was great. I love blogging.
Thank you for sharing that because it's again showing it was a journey. Because I feel like often we feel, okay, I need to go from not sharing with anybody to sharing with the stadium. So,
Exactly. I mean, there's going to be first steps.
yeah.
And it might just be that you start your own blog, because you know what the funny part about that is like you can blog on your own site all you want, but if you don't share those links, nobody's ever going to read them. So like sometimes we start with our own thing and we start to do that, but then sharing and promoting is a whole nother conversation. It's like, well, how are people going to even see that you have that beautiful blog link to click on? Well, you got to share on your social pages, you got to share on your email newsletter, you have to share with people, right? And that's, it takes a little bit more courage. So I laugh at myself because in the beginning, I think I was just writing a lot, but not sharing a lot. I knew like my mom and my BFF were the only two people that were reading my stuff. And at first, until I started sharing in a bigger way.
But I love that, like it already like sharing with two people. Like I remember when I first shared my story with one person, that was a
Yes.
huge breakthrough. So I just encourage you to celebrate those steps. Like when you share, whether it's one or two or three people, just celebrate like you are taking steps forward. Even writing, it's just putting it on paper. It's a huge step forward. And I just love that you shared your journey and how you gained that confidence and the courage to share and be that brave person sharing and helping others through your sharing. I love that. And you've given us a lot to think about today. And I know you also want to give a gift for those who want to take what we have been talking here to the go deeper and get some support on their journey. So can you share a little bit about the gift that you want to give?
Yeah, thank you so much. The Brave Healer Resources Vault is this place where you can come and get thousands of dollars worth of training, master classes, professional tips. And this is for my author entrepreneurs. So you can find classes on ideal client and writing your book, professional writing tips, and how to build your email list. Because as a writer, you need both things. You need the writing stuff and you need the business strategy stuff. You put them together and you can make some magic. So you guys are going to get access to the vault with all the free stuff in it.
Wow, that is amazing. So the link is in the show notes, so check it
Thank
out
you.
and totally get that gift because it is again your calling was given to you for a reason. So there is some beautiful lessons from your journey that you can share, and Laura can help you and support you on the journey to share your learning, share your wisdom. And now, as we start wrapping up here, do you have a final message that you would like to share with the audience?
Just remember that your message matters. You know, what if the thing you're still a little afraid to share is exactly what somebody needs to hear to change or even save their life? So it's time to be brave.
It is. I love that. It's time to be brave. So thank you, Laura, for sharing your valuable insights today. And if you found this helpful, please give it thumbs up and subscribe for more inspiring content. And don't forget to check out the previous episodes too. I'm sending you lots of light, lots of love. Bye for now.